all, a very warm welcome to you for coming to this reception of the Conservative European Forum. And it's very good to see so many old friends as well as new ones here today. I think that the last 12 months have reminded us throughout Europe of the fact that there are values, a commitment to justice, to the rule of law, to independent courts, to human rights, to democratic institutions, which dwarf in their importance even the most bitter arguments of the last few years. Yeah. What we have seen since February 2022 is the aspiration of an emergent and increasingly confident democracy in Ukraine being threatened in an increasingly bloodthirsty and ruthless fashion by an autocratic regime which sets no store by treaties it may have signed, agreements that it had freely entered into, and worse still, which has demonstrated that it is prepared to slaughter civilians rather than see a democracy succeed next door. The solidarity that the European democracies have shown, joined with our partners in the United States, in Canada, and the other democracies around the world, I think has come as a shock to the men in the Kremlin. I do not think that they expected that degree of resolution from us. And I think, therefore, that makes it all the more important that as we go forward, we find new ways of working together as fellow democracies in a shared continent, which make certain that people who wish us ill will not underestimate us again in the future. I have been heartened by what I have heard from our new Foreign Secretary, James Cleverly, about his aspiration for a better relationship between the United Kingdom and the European Union and its member states. I was very pleased when the Prime Minister confirmed that she intends to go to Prague at the end of this week for the first meeting of the European political community. And I was, even cautiously encouraged by my former constituency neighbour, the member for High Wycombe, Mr. Steve Baker, actually commenting 2 days ago that perhaps he and others like him had not spoken and acted in a way that showed proper respect and understanding of Irish and European interest in the debate over the protocol. I very much hope that we are able to move forward and upward as a result of those words. I think that the decision of 2016, regretted as though I continue to do, is a fact. And I can remember the then German Foreign Minister, now the President Steinmeier, saying to me, when I did my least favourite job as Europe Minister, which was while my Prime Minister was resigning in Downing Street to fly to Luxembourg to explain to the Foreign Affairs Council what had gone wrong. Frank-Walter Steinmeier said to me, it's Black Day, he said, but I have looked at the figures. It was close, but it was legitimate. And I think that's been the attitude of our European friends throughout. But now we have to find a way to make a fresh start. What is at stake in our own continent? What is at stake globally, where democratic values are under challenge in a way we have not seen since 1945, makes it imperative that we work together as fellow democracies in Europe, and we demonstrate to the autocratic world that we will defend our values, and we demonstrate to our own voters that democratic values and democratic institutions and the rule of law can and will deliver a prosperous and secure life and future for them, and take on those within our own countries who argue that the man or woman on a white horse with the easy answers is the person to trust because democracy has failed. We've been, I think, complacent for too long, and we need to reassert those values, and we will draw strength from working together. Now, I'm delighted to welcome to this reception my old friend João Vale Almeida, the European Union's ambassador. João and I first met in Washington when I was Europe Minister, he was EU ambassador there. We were making common cause in trying to get a very ambitious free trade and regulatory alignment agreement, TTIP, between the European Union and the United States. And I still look back and think that was an opportunity missed, but it was an opportunity I think missed in the United States, probably even more so than in Europe. And João, I know, sadly is coming to the end of his time as ambassador to the United Kingdom. I'm not quite sure, João, whether you as EU ambassador to London or me as Europe Minister in the Cameron government had the most difficult time of it. But I think it's always been interesting. I think one could put it that way. And I know you have always been a great friend of the United Kingdom, and it's somebody who has wanted to find a way of building a new partnership. I, for one, and the members of the CEF, want to see a close strategic partnership built up between the United Kingdom and our next door neighbours and most important trading partner, the European Union. I think that it is vital that the voice of the CEF and others like us continues to be heard within the Conservative Party and the wider Conservative family. Why I went to the EPP Congress in Rotterdam as an observer, as their guest earlier this year. But I think that there is an opportunity now, as those who led the Leave campaign sort of move away from positions of political leadership, that to start that reset. I hope very much that will be welcomed by the representatives of the other European countries who are here, and I hope it is something that many, many Conservatives will want to campaign for. João, please, delighted if you were able to say a few words. Thank you very much indeed.